Hello. My name is Garrett. This is week 5 of me trying to grow out of rock bottom and become the person I want to be. Uh, for anyone who hasn't watched any of the videos before this, I'll give like a very brief description of what rock bottom was in my life. Essentially, the quickest recap possible. I grew up developing a porn addiction and an addiction to weed, and then just developed this part of myself that was completely hooked on instant gratification and would do anything to um, get that fix. Be manipulating people, lying, just addictive behavior in every sense of the word. And over the course of years, there's a period where I was very hooked on self development, and I was adamant about. I had a pretty detailed vision for my life and what I wanted it to become, and I just kept failing to overcome these behaviors, especially with porn. And eventually, it just kind of led to a major depressive episode and a complete downward spiral. And I started escalating further and further with that behavior. I went from being someone who was in really good shape and had a good amount of money saved and was just overall very disciplined to someone who was like, I'd gained 50 pounds of fat, blew through all my money, and accumulated like 20 grand in debt, and just overall had let myself become a very uh, weak-willed person. And the addictions themselves escalated to the point that I started visiting escorts, both trans and female, which I had a very religious upbringing, and that caused a lot of shame and confusion for me. Uh, and at least on a subconscious level. And there was a point where, for a year, that was the compulsive struggle. Was like at my worst lows. I'd go on a binge with escorts, and I really, really fought the desire to kill myself during that period. Um, that was about a year and a half ago. Year and a half to 2 years ago. I'm by no means in the same spot that I was at then. I've made a lot of progress. I've had a lot of positive developments in my life, but I am also nowhere near the person I want to be, and I still have struggles. So this isn't me kind of actually like starting from rock bottom. This is me just starting the process of documenting my journey. So every week I just kind of go over how I did numerically on the spreadsheet tool that I use to track my progress with work input, um, finances, positive habits, and negative habits. So, overall, this week was pretty good. I've I've had a couple weeks that are borderline perfect the last few weeks, and this week was not perfect in the same way by any means, but it was still very good. Um, with work input, I worked my full intended hours on 4 out of 6 days. Uh, my actual hours worked was only 52, which normally it's around 60. So I clearly let work slip to some degree this week. Revenue generated was still pretty good. The average I'm going for per week is 1250. This is about 235 more. So surpassed my goal for the week to keep on track for the month, and spent less than 40%. So that was financially, this was a really good week. With my positive habits, I had 25 out of 28, which is a good score. For like, I think 7 or 8 weeks, it was 28 out of 28 every time. So even like a minor slip feels like it is indicative of something bad happening in my mind a little bit. But realistically, 25 out of 28 is still a good score. Like it, if I kept that score for the whole month, I think I would go below my goal on at least one habit. But given the rest of the weeks were so good, the that was a fine score. By no means was it me just completely dropping the ball. And then with my negative habits, which I track urges overcome, hours of porn consumed, escorts texted, escorts visited. Was really good. I had 4 out of 4 urges overcome, 0 hours of porn consumed, 0 escorts texted, 0 escorts visited. Which, yeah, I mean, that's like one of the biggest things, I think, for me. I mean, I spent years of my life completely consumed by that addiction, and pretty much all of my conscious experience was either completely giving in and being controlled by the desires to engage, or putting all of my energy towards trying to not do that thing. So the fact that, I mean, I've seen almost 3 months now of just complete abstinence with that, I can feel such a incredible positive benefit in terms of my self-esteem and my conviction and my belief in my ability to follow through on what I say I'm going to do, and just like a general lack of anxiety. I feel a lot more hope and belief in myself and my ability to accomplish things. So yeah, I mean, for the week, overall, it was good. Like I said, the main thing I'd say this week, I'm a big self-analysis guy. I think that is, I mean, it's probably obvious from looking at this spreadsheet, but I think that's crucial for growth. Like kind of a core belief I have about human growth is it requires a deep understanding of where you are, where you're trying to go, and setting goals to bridge those two. And I think understanding where you are on a very deep level takes a lot of effort and is very complicated. At least for me, I, for years, was exceptional at lying to myself and shoving down the truth about who I was and how I behaved. So I've become someone who is like borderline addicted to self-analysis, and I kind of went off the deep end a little bit this week with trying to figure out how to use ChatGPT to help me in that journey. I hadn't really used it in that way before, and someone like gave me the thought to do so, and I just kind of like went down that rabbit hole, and it kind of overtook work. That's why my hours worked were lower than normal. It wasn't because I was like slacking off necessarily. It was because I would put 20 to 30 hours into that probably. So it's just, I mean, honestly, it reminded me of the days in the past where I would, it felt compulsive, and it felt obsessive and out of balance. And while it was not, I was not channeling those tendencies towards an extremely negative, destructive behavior like I did in the past, it still was not the healthiest approach, and it still was getting in the way of me doing the things that I intended to do and that I probably should have done. So it's just kind of something to look out for going forward. Like I absolutely want to incorporate that tool into my life because I see a lot of value in it. But I also don't want to let it consume me in any way, and I don't want to let it get in the way of my other important goals. The other thing, so I waited a day in order to get all the data because the month is pretty much over. So I'm also going to look at the month. Overall, it was a great month. At 72% of days, I had my full intended hours worked, which barely crossed the goal, but it still crossed the goal. 235 hours worked, and the goal was 220. That was good. 5,900 in revenue, and the goal was 5,000. Surpassed the goal. It's good. Expenses were a little high. I spent 3,600 when the goal was 3,000. Because of that, even though I made over 900 extra dollars, I still did not hit my savings goal of 40%, which were the only real areas of failure. and they have, if you look at the monthly streak, have been the repeated areas of failure. I've kind of continuously gone just 10 to 20% over that $3,000 budget. And my habits, I think last month was 100% in every single category. This wasn't quite that good, but it was still over 90% for all of them. The system I'm following for habit development is go for 90% completion. Every month I get that is a successful month. After 3 months of 90% completion with these habits, which my meditation and my exercise, the way I'm doing them is like a light version. It's not like I meditate for 10 minutes. And the full version I want to get to is 20-minute meditation each day. I'm exercising right now for like 20 minutes, and I want to get to full hour every day. So when I get a 3-month streak of 90% completion or above, I will upgrade that habit and then repeat the process. Like once I get a 3-month streak with the upgraded habits, then I'm going to add in new habits. With the goal of just, slow, consistent progress and really ingraining and solidifying each habit before I try to add on more. I spent years just trying to take on way too much at once and then crashing and burning and then getting to the end of the year with no progress made. So I'm very, very much so actively trying to avoid that tendency in myself. With negative habits, it was an amazing month. 16 out of 16 urges overcome, obviously way past my 60% goal. 0 hours of porn consumed, 0 escorts texted, 0 escorts visited. Again, I'm exceptionally happy about that, and the positive effects are so clear. Very strong motivation to keep going in that regard. So on the month, the main improvement would be just expenses. I've demonstrated a tendency to, at least in the last few months, to as soon as the month resets and it returns to like I have $3,000 to spend in my mind, I kind of like excuse more impulsive, unnecessary purchases. And I'll buy like a couple $100 things, or $200-$300 things, at the start of the month, saying like I think I should still be able to keep it in my budget. And I just kind of set myself up for failure because I reach a point halfway through the month. I pay rent early. I pay pretty much every recurring bill in the first half of the month, and so I end up spending like $2,700 by the 15th. Because of these extra purchases that I make due to faulty rationalizations, and then I recurringly am a couple $100 over. So this month I'm going to make a lot more conscious effort to just wait. Like don't recognize when that desire pops up of I should buy this thing. I can probably fit it in this month. Like there's no harm in waiting 2 weeks or waiting 3 weeks for the end of the month, because then I can see like, yes, I have money left over. I can afford to get that thing and stay in the budget. By no means is it an area that's causing any sort of major collapse. Like I'm still saving over $2,000 per month, which is it's a really good number for me. Like it's allowing me to stack money at a higher rate than I ever have. But I want to try to minimize compulsiveness in every area of my life as much as possible, and there's still some being demonstrated in my financial habits, so that is just an improvement to make moving forward. Outside of that, like I said, the goals are just kind of with the full intended hours, just get back on track. Don't let ChatGPT consume me the way it has last week. Don't let it serve as an excuse to do the more fun, engaging, and exciting thing in order to avoid doing the less stimulating work that I know I want to get done, and recognize the urge to do so as a compulsive emotional pull rather than like any sort of valid rationalization. But yeah, so moving to the next month, it's a lot of the same thing. The schedule doesn't change. It's same work week after week, and it is working. So yeah, last thing I do in these videos is just throw out that the business I'm working on is called Progress Theory. Same name as the channel, obviously. It is a community and will one day be a program built on the idea of coming together to create a universal system for human growth. It's very much in its bare bones stage. None of the components are fully solidified yet. But right now, it is a community where if anyone actually watches this and would have interest in forming like an accountability relationship, essentially, are just joining a really small knit community that's built around helping each other just grow and progress in the areas that we're focused on. The link will be below. You can click that and schedule a call with me, and we can see if it is something worth doing at this point in time. Other than that, I appreciate anyone who watches this far. It is not the most engaging video by any means, so thank you for giving me your time. And I hope you find the growth you're looking for in your life. Thanks. Until next week.